and we're going to do like we did yesterday, which is to identify what type of conflict it is. We agreed that yesterday it was character versus society and character versus character for the first clip. That's the one, Shrek and the Prince. And today it's, or the next one was the Men in Black, character versus the supernatural with the aliens.
Hello,
and we're going to do.
just for a sec.
Okay, so now we're going to move.
Hello.
Hold on one second, guys. 1 minute. I'm sorry about
Okay,
that.
sure.
So we're going to.
Okay,
All right, sorry about that, guys. So conflict with the clip for number 3, and then we're going to answer the question, what is conflict? In your own words, define the word conflict and provide 3 examples of conflicts that you have experienced in your life, your community, and the world. Do we understand what we're doing so far, guys?
Yes.
Okay, so we're watching the video, fill that in, and then answer the next question. Let's begin. And this is a video about a tornado.
Good grammar and spelling are important, but if you want to write essays that inspire, messages that forge brighter connections, and emails that get the job done, you need to think about more than just grammar and spelling. This sentence is grammatically correct, but it's wordy and hard to read. It undermines the writer's message, and the word choice is bland. Grammarly's cutting-edge technology helps you craft compelling, understandable writing that makes an impact on your reader. Much better. Grammarly works where you work, on your computer or your phone. Imagine what you could do with the secrets of the world's best writers at your fingertips, anytime you need them. Are you ready to give it a try? Installation is simple and free. Visit Grammarly.com today.
Jesus, Bill, I've never seen clutter like this.
I don't think anybody has.
Bill, we're in the core.
Okay, we got sisters.
Julia, I can't talk to you right now. We're right under the flanking line.
I realize that.
We can't attack this thing from the south. We're gonna get rolled.
Watch me.
Julia, I know you're upset. You just gotta breathe. You both just gotta breathe. Cow. I gotta go, Julia. We got cows. Another cow.
Actually, I think that was the same one. Damn it, we got drunkards here. We got no path.
This is not good. Get us out of here.
I'm trying, okay?
We're no longer meeting in Google.
This seems incredible. Oh, honey.
Island homeowners, if you have a PSEG meter like this on the side of your house, you can get paid to go solar for no money spent out of pocket. It costs nothing to install the solar panels, and you'll immediately get a credit on your bill when your meter runs backwards, and then you'll get paid for the excess power you produce from solar. There are federal and state, New York State subsidies available to you to get paid back thousands to go solar, but it's expiring soon. So just click the link in this video. We'll take you to a new window.
All right, guys. So we were in the document. Does everybody?
Miss Cruz, you're on mute. You're talking, but you're on mute.
Sorry. Go ahead, Miss Williams.
Yeah, I was just saying that we need to get into the document. Perfect, Miss Morris. All right, so we finished watching that video. As you know, it was about natural disasters. So we know what that means. We have to choose what type of conflict that is. Hold on, I'm hearing music. Is that me?
Yes, that's you. It's still playing on the background.
Okay, sorry about that. So I'm going to go back and share the classroom page. So now you have to fill in what type of conflict that is. Remember, guys, if you scroll further down, you'll see the examples of the types of conflict. So if you forget, they do give you the description of if it's an internal conflict, what that is, if it's an external conflict, what type that is, as well as the definition of conflict. So using that information, you should be able to fill out this last section here, as well as what the definition of conflict is, and give 3 examples of conflict you've experienced in your life, your community, and the world. So think about what examples of conflicts are out there. Look at the ones that we looked at yesterday, and then we could take it from there. After you're finished with this section, I'll give you about 10 minutes. We'll move into the second section of the assignment. So you're filling out, let me go back. This section, this section, this section, and this section. So your definition, the conflict you experienced firsthand in the first box here, conflict that occurred in your community, and a conflict that occurred in the world. And when they say community, they're talking about, it doesn't have to be your neighborhood. It could be your state. It could be your borough. They're talking about local when they talk about your community. And then the world would be something happening outside of the United States, right? And then what happened firsthand to you, personally to you. So an example could be a conflict that I experienced firsthand, could be where I lost a loved one. So therefore I have an internal conflict that's going on with dealing with that loss. So I would say, okay, for example, I lost my grandmother. So that would be a conflict that I experienced firsthand. Then when you talk about a conflict that occurred in my community, I could talk about, for example, the shootings that were happening in the summertime. There was a lot of shootings in my neighborhood. People were a little scared to go out. I could talk about the protests that were happening in my community in the Bronx. They were boarding up businesses and things of that nature. And then a conflict that's occurring in the world. Right now, we know that the pandemic is a worldwide conflict, right? It's a conflict against a particular social issue, as well as what we would consider something in nature, right? A sickness is something that comes up naturally. So those are a few examples that you could put within these boxes. I'm not going to write my examples yet because I don't want you to copy those verbatim. I want you to be able to come up with your own copies. So again, you're going to give the example of what type of conflict the third video was, describe what that is, character versus what. Is it external or internal? You're going to give the definition of the word conflict, and you're going to give the 3 examples in these boxes explaining a conflict that you experienced firsthand. I gave you my example of losing my grandma. Another conflict occurred in your community. I talked about the protests and the shootings happening in my neighborhood recently in the summer. And then a conflict that occurred in the world. I talked about the COVID-19 pandemic that's worldwide. So do we understand what we're doing now, guys?
Yes.
That's just this section that you're doing now. So get that done now. You have about 10 minutes.
Arelis, do you know where to get it?
Elise, are you on? Can you hear?
Yes.
You see it on your classwork, right?
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, and on your own time later on, you got to watch the other two videos. There's a link on the actual paper, okay?
Okay.
Or you can watch yesterday's video, which I'm going to upload in a few minutes.
Okay.
I hate having to do two things at once. My brain cannot function. You know, we have that receivership meeting this afternoon.
Yeah.
So I'm toggling between both. So I apologize for the back and forth.
You want to still keep sharing your screen, Ms. Morris?
Oh, I forgot. I usually keep it up anyway for them to see, but I can take it down.
No, you can leave it up. It's all good.
So if I'm correct, it's Ajifatu, Iralis, Ali, and Matthew that are here today, correct?
I will let you know right now. There's 7 of us, minus 3, so there's 4. Matthews,
I have Matthew.
Arelis, Aliu, and Aji, exactly what you said.
Thank you.
And I'm manning the Google Meet in case somebody comes in.
Thank you. Today is December 1st.
Yes, last month of the year. Wow.
2020, man.
This time last year, nobody knew what the next year would bring.
No idea. Yo, I turned 40.
Oh wow!
January.
I didn't realize that was a milestone age for you this year.
Yeah, and this is my 40, right?
Right here. That's crazy. Mine is next year.
Yeah, no, it was great. My birthday was fab.
That's making me feel old. I just turned 48 last month.
Yeah.
That's a blessing, Mr. Cruz.
You know, you're in good company.
You're in my siblings. They're all 50 and 49. They're still young, Mr. Cruz, please.
Yeah.
Not that far away from us.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So many things happened this year.
And then the year started off with a bang. It was just like as soon as we hit 2020.
Yeah, no, and it was like a really good bang for me.
Yeah, because your birthday.
Yeah, but remember, January 2nd, we almost went to war.
Oh, yes. That was the thing with the plane, right?
The thing over with on the other side of the world.
And then you had unfortunately Colby right after.
No, before COVID, we had 2 months of earthquakes everywhere. Puerto Rico shaking every day.
No, I didn't say COVID. I said Colby.
Kobe passed away too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we forgot about the earthquakes.
The eruption of the of the volcano over at Philippines.
Yes.
We got mad stuff before we shut down.
Yeah. There was a lot.
Mr. Cruz lost his sight on his right eye.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
A lot of things.
Bad things.
2020, man.
Hey, but we're breathing and we're alive. Thank you, God.
Amen.
I feel like 2020 is going to be a word that when you act up, you can be like, you don't want me to 2020 you. Yeah.
Yes, it's gonna be a verb.
So
Well, that's mad 2020.
Mad 2020, man. But oh well, like Mr. Cruz said, you thank God you're still here and you can keep it moving,
You know what's funny? You know how they say when you're in a no-win situation, you're in a catch 2020?
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Catch 22. Yep. I don't know.
That book was very. Did you ever read the book?
No. I didn't even know.
So it was like these soldiers who were doing like suicide missions.
Oh wow.
Right. So it was like really horrible, and it was like all this stuff, and so in order to get out of it, you had to prove that you were crazy.
Mm.
And so in order to prove that you were crazy,
you got to do some stuff.
You had to like fly the missions, like so it was like this thing of like, the missions are a bad idea, but in order to prove that you're crazy, you had to like fly. So there wasn't any way to get out of it without doing it.
Yeah, it's a no-win situation.
Right. It's a catch-22. Because if you knew that the missions were crazy, you were not crazy.
Right. But they were crazy.
Right. But they were making you crazy and you wanted to get out of it.
Get out. Oh, Lord. All right.
Which eventually proved that you were really crazy.
Right. If you were enjoying the missions, you were nuts.
All right, guys. How far are you along with the section that I asked you to complete? You finished up the section on what do you know about conflict, or you need a couple more minutes?
Yes.
All right, 2 more minutes, and then we'll see what you guys have. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I just thank God I live to see another one. That's all.
Amen. 2021. No New Year's Eve.
Yep.
No ball drop.
The ball in Times Square and all that good stuff.
None of that.
In your house. That's it.
Yeah. TV. Well, one thing that has been interesting, less deaths from motor vehicle accidents as people less on the road.
Are not on the road. Yep. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I'll say for me, when we were closed down and we couldn't drive or go anywhere per se, I didn't spend money on like gas and all that stuff for a minute, right?
Yeah.
But the catch was when I went back to work, when we all went back, I ended up getting a lot of tickets for going over the 25-mile thing because I guess I was to being locked down for months.
Right.
On the street. I didn't even realize I was going over the 25-mile, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And I started getting these tickets. You know those cameras that catch you.
Right, exactly. You get the big mail.
Like, what? When did that happen? When did they take my picture there? When did they put a camera up there? I was like, man, I should have stayed in my house because it ended up costing me anyway.
And those images are never flattering.
Oh no, you should see my license plates all right out there. I was like, come on. Anyway, such is life. All right, folks, I'm ready for us to share. I'm gonna call on folks to tell me what they have. So for the third video, the video on the twister, Elise, were you there when we watched that video? The video on the twister?
The tornado?
Yeah.
All right, what type of conflict do you think it is?
I was thinking it was character versus nature.
That's correct. Definitely character versus nature. That's the choices, right? So we got that, and it's external conflict. All right, so we got that, boom. So let's take a look at the next section. It says, what is conflict? Somebody tell me what conflict is. What do we think conflict is? Let me see, what can I call on? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Ali, you're the lucky one today. What do you think conflict is? What's the definition of conflict in your own words? Remember that we already have a definition further down on our page, so you can look at that to help you come up with a definition. What is conflict in your own words? Can you hear me, Ali? Guess he stepped away. All right, Matthew, can you tell me what conflict is? Matthew, are you there? Can you guys hear them, or is it me?
No, I hear you.
I don't hear.
I don't hear them at all, but they're there.
I said I'm coming, miss.
Oh, you were muted when you said that, buddy. But yeah, good.
All right. So do you need a second to answer that question, Matthew?
You can also put it in the chat.
All right, Ajifatu, what is conflict?
What I wrote is that I think conflict simply means opposition, which can either be internal or external.
You're saying it's an opposition? That's what you said?
Yes.
Perfect. Opposition that can be internal and external, right?
Yeah.
That's a wonderful definition. Now, this is where we get to share our experiences. So I'll start with the first one. We talked about a conflict that you have experienced firsthand. So I mentioned that my first conflict that I mentioned as a firsthand experience was I lost my grandmother over the summer. So that's an internal conflict. Oh. Losing my grandma. And what makes that internal, guys? Why would that not be external? Anybody knows?
Emotion,
like you said,
I said, like, it's your emotions and like you.
Perfect. It has to do with my emotions, right? So it's an emotional struggle. Very good. Hence why it's an internal conflict. Okay, can someone share a conflict that occurred in their community?
I just want to make sure that everybody who's seeing this knows that you're typing so that they can put this in their own document.
That's
right?
correct.
Don't forget.
You're putting your own example. This is just a sample for everybody. So can someone share a conflict that occurred in their community? Matthew, are you ready now? You said to give you a second. If you're speaking, I can't hear you. You might be muted because I know last time you said something. We couldn't hear you. Okay, I don't hear him. Ali, are you there? Guys, remember, if you're leaving the huh?
External.
Okay, so then give me your specific example for
like the COVID-19 stuff.
For your community? This is for the right? Okay, so external conflict, and you said the COVID-19 issue in your community, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, Ali, are you there? We've been trying to get a hold of you for a minute. Thank you, Matthew. I wrote that down. Ali, are you there? Are you there? Ali. All right. Irelise, are you there?
Yeah, on that one, I put about the coronavirus. So
Right. That's fine. I think it's both something that's local and international, right?
yeah,
Now I have a question. Would you consider that a character versus society or character versus nature type of conflict?
society, I think.
Society, right? It could also be nature because it's a natural phenomenon. So you could do it both. So thank you. All right. So let's review what we have thus far. So we watched 3 video clips containing examples of different types of conflict. We all agree that the first video with Shrek and the Prince, or the King, was both character versus society conflict as well as character versus character. We agree that our second clip, which was the clip on Men in Black, that the aliens consider that particular part of conflict as character versus the supernatural. And then the video that we watched on the tornado was character versus nature. I asked you guys to give me the definition of conflict. Ajifatu, you said that conflict is basically opposition that can be internal and external. We all agree that's a good definition. And then our 3 examples are: 1, I gave the first one, internal conflict, losing my grandma over the summer. That's an emotional struggle, as Ajifatu pointed out, why that makes it internal. Matthew said that external conflict in the community was the COVID-19 pandemic, which also poured over into our world example of conflict given by Irelise. So I think those are solid examples, right? So now we're going to move into the next section. And for this section, there's going to be a video what we're going to watch, another video. It says building background on conflict through video. As you watch, identify facts about literary conflict that you already knew and facts that are completely new to you. And you'll be jotting these notes down in your note taker section. I'll read the directions again. As you watch, identify facts about literary conflict, meaning you're finding examples of conflict within this video. They're going to give you examples of literary conflict, conflict that takes place in literature, in what you read. And your job while you're watching the video is to take notes on some of the things you already knew that occur in stories, conflict that occurs in stories, and new things that you didn't know that are completely new to you. And again, on your form, you can take the notes right in this section. Are we ready for that, guys? You got to respond so I know you're there. Are we ready?
Yes.
Thank you. All righty. So I'll pull up the video. Remember, you're taking notes on your form. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm pausing the video to give you a second to take notes. So far, they've mentioned that conflict is an opposing struggle, usually between a character and something else. That's one example of conflict in literature. Jot that down and state whether or not that's something you already knew. That's how we're taking the notes. Then they started to go deeper to talk about each type of conflict. So right now we're looking at internal. An internal conflict occurs when a character struggles with himself. So again, that could be something you could jot down in your notes and state whether or not that's something you already knew. So as the video is playing, please take notes. Don't just sit there and wait till afterwards, because then you probably won't remember everything. Okay. Okay. So we watched the clip. I feel like a lot of that information that was just shared, we've been listening to, we've been watching, we've been hearing. So you should be able to have jotted down at least 2 to 3 things that you recognize and remember around conflict in literature. I'm not going to go over that. I think at this point you should have some notes there. And this is what I want you to do for homework. This can be turned in today. After you've organized your note to the note taker section, you're going to highlight in yellow the things that you think you need to remember for this unit. I think by now we know that we should understand what conflict is. We should understand the types of conflict, and we should be able to give examples of each type of conflict, because this particular unit will require us to be able to identify conflict within literature. Part of what you're going to be doing at the end of this unit, I mentioned yesterday, was you're going to be writing an analysis of a piece of literature. And in order to analyze something, you have to be able to speak about certain things that you notice in text. Okay. And one of the things that always comes up in literature is character development, how the characters act towards each other, how they solve problems. And therefore, conflict is very important when it comes to literature. So, again, for the rest of the class time we have, you're going to highlight in yellow the parts of your notes that you took on the video that describe what you already knew about conflict in literature. And if there is something new that you learned, you're going to jot that down as well. Afterwards, I urge you to read the notes on character and conflict right down here. Then you will turn it in. So I expect this to be turned in by the end of today, by 5 o'clock today, for you to get graded on it. Do we understand the instructions, guys?
Yes.
And you notice I took some time, myself, Ms. Williams, and Mr. Cruz took the time to go through day one with you slowly. Usually I would have said, go watch a video on your own and start working, but I want to make sure we all understand the concept of conflict. So we've done majority of it together. So I expect our grades to look pretty good for this first assignment. All you're doing now is filling in the notes that you took. If you were not watching the video, you stepped away from the computer, you weren't following, watch it again. You have the option to click on the same link and watch the video again. When you are done, make sure in your notes you have 2 to 3 examples of facts about conflict. Then you will highlight in yellow, okay, the key facts that you already knew about conflict. You will read the section and then you will turn this in. So it is now 9:08. I'm giving you until the rest of the period to finish this up, and then you will turn it in at the end. If you do not get to finish it by the time we leave at 9:13, then you will get that done by 5 o'clock today so that you can get credit for it. Go ahead and start working, guys.